Hi everybody, welcome back. Tony again here with Shinsho Yoga. And for this week's video, I'd like to talk a little bit about the concept of living with purpose. So this comes from a conversation I had recently with a family member. And this family member of mine had been telling me how they were struggling, basically being depressed because they felt that they were bored, that their life was somewhat routine and mundane and drab, and they didn't like where they lived, they didn't like what their house, they didn't like this, they didn't like that, and they're not sure why they didn't like it. It's just that this is the same old, and going on. And as I always do, I listen and let them vent, and then at the end I ask, would you like my input, or did you just want to vent about it? And I always try to be careful of that with people, that some people just want to vent. And if you want to be there for them, sometimes you just need to let them vent. They don't need your input. They don't need your advice, So I said, would you like my input? And she said, yes. And I said, you have no purpose. I said, you have no purpose. That's why you feel the way you do. You're just existing. Right? You're just going through the motions. You get up every day, you have your coffee, you have your breakfast, you go to the store and take care of your shopping, your groceries, and maybe you go for a walk with this person, whatever that is, but there's no purpose. There's no reason for you to be here. If that all ended tomorrow, outside of, family, of course, that would miss you and this and that, there's no work that would wouldn't be accomplished from it. And this I mean in a spiritual context. I'm not meaning this in a way of a job somewhere, say at an office, and trying to get ahead. I'm talking about in a spiritual point of view, in a spiritual context. We all have to live with purpose, right? In a spiritual point of view, we are all put here in this world, on this planet, in this form, to do a job. We're here for a reason. The general spiritual context, the general modern spiritual belief is that we are here to grow, right? We come down to this world, to this planet, from an unlimited form put into a limited form, and the goal, as always loosely goal, is to be able to live unlimited in this limited form, to be able to live a spiritual life in this limited form, right? To transition from being limited to unlimited, right? In the process of doing that, there's things we need to do not only for ourselves but others, right? We are all here to serve. All of us are here to serve in some way or another. Serve does not mean be subjugated. Serve does not mean be a slave to someone else. Serve does not mean to be abused by another person. A life of service is one of giving to someone else, right? To another, to a group, to whatever it is, to be able to help them achieve their goals, right? And you do it out of the graciousness of that's who you are to do. It doesn't mean you do it for free. There is always a reciprocation, whether it's a monetary one or an energetic one, right? Money in our world in this day and age kind of takes place of a lot of things that happened in the past where someone, you help fix someone's house, then they come over next week and build your barn for you or whatever it is, right? But there is always a reciprocation of energy. Again, service does not mean that you're just taken advantage of and people just use you. But you are here to serve, right? And if we're just existing, we're not fulfilling our purpose that we are here, you're going to be bored. You're going to find life repetitive. You're going to feel like a hamster in a wheel. You're going to feel like a rat in a maze. You're going to feel like you're on the merry-go-round. Same thing over and over and expect a different result. You have to live with purpose. You have to find your place to serve, right? And again, That term serve is something that needs to be understood, because serve, often someone thinks means serves. Like when you think of something like a king, and you have a servant for a king, where the king treats that person terribly and badly, and they're beneath them, and that they just do whatever they want to that person because they're their servant. No, that's not what serve means at all. That is a gross misinterpretation of service. Service does not mean subjugation. Right? Again, I'll repeat that. Service does not mean subjugation. But we're all here to serve in some way or another. And until you find that purpose that you are here for, you will be on that merry-go-round forever. It's why a lot of people, after they retire, still work. Right? And I'm not saying they can't enjoy work or enjoy what they did, but many of them still do, because if they go and they're not working anymore, they have no purpose any longer. Right? Your job where you're working, a job, shouldn't be your purpose. Hopefully, if you're living a spiritual life, it's part of the purpose. What you're doing, right, is part of the purpose, but the place itself should not be the purpose. You have to determine your purpose. You have to determine why you are here on this planet, right? And what your place of service is. Because that's what it all comes down to, is service to one another. What is your place of service? What is your purpose? And when you do that, you will find that you're rarely bored, right? It doesn't mean things can't be boring to do. Doing dishes is boring. I don't have a dishwasher I am the dishwasher in my house. I find it quite boring, right? But that's something that needs to be done, right? Cleaning the house. I recently got a new vacuum, a Dyson vacuum. I found it in the trash and fixed it. And man, those things are phenomenal. I could clean my whole house in an hour. And it used to take me forever before with a regular vacuum, which made me happy that I can do it much quicker now. And I'm much more... what's the right word here? Energized to do it. But the point is, cleaning the house is still boring. Right? There are going to be tasks that are boring, no matter what in life, and that's okay. It's okay to be bored. But if you find your life boring, you lack purpose. And you need to find your purpose. So as I was going to come down to, how do you find your purpose? Well, my message never changes. It's the same in all 200 some odd videos I think I have at this point. That's what these practices are about. Whether you are on your yoga mat or on a meditation cushion, hopefully you do both, right? Not one without the other, because they're important. We need to still the mind. When your mind is going 100 miles an hour and you're constantly being distracted, constantly being entertained, in our world today, everyone seeks entertainment every 5 minutes. Everyone can't stand to not be uncomfortable. Everyone can't stand not to be bored, right? You're never going to hear it. You're never going to find it. Your mind needs to be still. You need to be uncomfortable, and you need to be bored. That uncomfortability and uncomfortability, I'm not even saying it right, and being bored is what drives you to that. When you are going the wrong way, these things come up to drive you back the other way. So be bored. Be uncomfortable. Meditate. Learn to meditate. Learn to still your mind. Yoga practice. Practice stilling your mind in your practice. If you have a very vigorous practice that is more physical than it is mental, in my opinion, it should be a balance, right? You should be working on what you're doing in your mind at the same time you're working your body, right? But if it's just a physical practice where you're just moving quickly and it's just, then maybe you need to find a different practice where you can work on moving your body and exercising and invigorating the body at the same time as you do your mind. Because until you can still your mind, until you quiet it, so you can hear the universe and the whispers that it speaks in, you won't find your purpose. If you chase fame and stardom and wealth, you won't find your purpose. And you will continue to be bored. So live with purpose. Find your area of service in life. Use your practices to get there. And make that a consistent practice as always, because that's where the success comes in, from consistency. Not doing it phenomenally one week and then not doing it all the next. Just be consistent. Do the best you can every week. So, live with purpose. As always, take from that what serves you and get rid of the rest. That doesn't mean take what's comfortable and get rid of what's uncomfortable, because we often need what's uncomfortable to serve us. That's all I have for this week. Thanks again for watching. Namaste.